It has rained for 5 days running. The world is a round puddle of sunless water where small islands are only beginning to cope. A young boy in my garden is bailing out water from his flower patch. When I ask him why, he tells me young seeds that have not seen sun forget and drown easily. This poem is called Coping by Audre Lorde, written many years ago, but I think it holds much relevance for us today. She speaks of feeling overwhelmed and helpless, something that was very true for many of us these past few years, and maybe for some is still present today. Maybe it's that feeling of tirelessly bailing out buckets of water from an endless stream of rain. That is a valid feeling. On the other hand, some may see it as a story of redemption and hope. In this way, Lorde's poem is a reflection of how we enter this new academic year. Are you the gardener, the young boy, or the seeds? Maybe you have been all three at some point, or even all three at the same time. This is our time to reflect on who we need to be for our students, for our colleagues, and for ourselves. Cal Poly is a place full of seeds ready to grow. We will be welcoming almost 6,000 new students this week, 67 new instructional faculty members, and hundreds of new staff to their first fall quarter. Let's make sure each of them sees the sun they need to grow, and that even if you have grown beyond seed, that you continue to find the sunlight you need to flourish. Just make sure your growth doesn't block the sunlight from others. When we think of seeds, we most logically think of the land from which they grow. On behalf of Cal Poly, I would like to acknowledge that the land we live, learn, and work on carries the heritage and culture of the indigenous people of San Luis Obispo County, the Yaktichu, Tichu, Yaktahini, Northern Chumash tribe. We honor the indigenous people's connection to these territories and respect this land. Whether you are with us here in Emcee Hall or watching remotely, I am glad you are with us today. My name is Keith Humphrey. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am proud to serve as your Vice President for Student Affairs, and for this afternoon, your Fall Convocation MC. This is the second time I've been asked to MC this event, and just like I learned from Back to the Future 2 and 3 during my childhood, the sequel is where you really start to see quality. I just love this time of year. Hope and optimism mixed with enthusiasm and caution, swirled in with nervousness, excitement, and dreams. The possibilities are unlimited right now for each of us, and most importantly, for our students. As we embrace these qualities, please remember the majority of our students have not had a normal high school or college experience, and they carry the experiences of the past with them. Many bring invisible traumas from the pandemic, and this may present itself in unusual ways or not at all. Every individual has their own story. I am grateful that each of you are here to care for them, educate them, and support them through your contribution to student success. We are going to hear a number of those stories today as we hear from university leaders, shared governance leaders, and gather as a community in celebration of the start of the school year on the PAC Plaza after this event. But before we get to their stories, I'd be remiss if I didn't remind you about the opportunity to participate in some key community building opportunities. Tomorrow and Wednesday is new student move-in, and while that will make access to campus and parking more challenging than usual, it's actually going to make it'll be just fine. We'll all get through it. Please, though, consider coming out of your workspaces to welcome new students and their supporters. Just lend a smile to a nervous student or an even more nervous parent. If you are already signed up to volunteer at one of our opening events, thank you in advance for your support. You are also all invited to join us Wednesday night at 8 p.m. in Spanos Stadium for the Big Fall Welcome. This is the launch of our 65th week of welcome and a great opportunity to hear the foundational messages that our students receive. And as a preview, it goes like this. If you want to know more, and I think you do, we will see you Wednesday night. I am now pleased to introduce our next 4 speakers. First is Lisa Kawamura, representing the California Faculty Association. Lisa.
Good afternoon, Cal Poly. Good afternoon, Cal Poly. Welcome back, everybody. I'm so excited to be here representing the faculty as your first lecturer, president of the California Faculty Association here at Cal Poly Sloan. I want to welcome all new and returning faculty, staff, and students and administration. We are looking forward to a great year. I want to also congratulate faculty and the CFA for negotiating a 4% raise for us. 3% raise for us for this year. It was dependent on budget. We did receive our full budget, but somehow the trustees decided that we should not get that extra 1% to make us whole at 4. So it's one of the first agenda items that we will be working on for you, our faculty, this year. We also want to congratulate President Armstrong on his raise this year. A 15% raise in the amount of $66,000, which is more than some of us part-timers make. But I don't want to dispel that. President Armstrong works incredibly hard for this money, and as the second highest paid administrator in our CSU system, he has worked really hard and long for that. He showed us his power several years ago when we were about to go on strike because of the lack of pay raises and our situation as faculty, and he stood up and gave our faculty the largest equity increase that was seen in the 23 CSU systems. Thank you, President Armstrong. Many people have been critical of President Armstrong about the amount of administration that has been hired during his tenure, but honestly, he has hired great fundraisers. And with that, I ask you again, Dr. Armstrong and fellow administrators, for you to use those fundraising abilities to give your faculty more than just that 1% that we are due, and also for your staff. We have continued to deal with adversity and change and the same things that our students are going through over the last 2.5 years. And I know you have the power and the will to do it. So let's work together this year. Let's make this a great year for not just students coming back, faculty coming back, and staff coming back, for all of us. If you haven't joined the CFA already, please do so. You can find us at calfac.org, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lisa, for stepping into leadership. We're looking forward to working with you. Next, we have Tom Randall, representing the CSU Employees Union. Tom.
Thank you, everybody. Well, for an historic first, the CSU and CSUEU have signed a labor contract on time. So thank you, everyone who participated in the Mercer study, our union members for their support and bargaining team, and thank you to our contract action team, keeping our members informed and engaged. Of course, we're now heading into a salary reopener, so our work together to achieve economic parity with market compensation continues. Cal Poly is often mentioned as the best in the West for education, but we need the entire CSU to be among the best in the West for all workers. So the CSU and labor are continuing our joint quest to improve the classification system and reinstitute salary steps. And yeah. And towards that effort, we here again definitely need your help to achieve that goal. Everyone here, everyone, keeps the wheels of this educational mission running. Students need our wheels to keep running smoothly so they can begin to achieve their own missions in life. And to that, it's likely no surprise that Cal Poly employs the greatest number of student assistants from among all the CSU campuses. Our campus motto is, after all, learn by doing, and a campus work experience is learning by doing for everyone. But it does raise some important questions and concerns about student labor that we previously thought of as incidental or casual. Students are now doing critically important work here at Cal Poly. So, what do fair wages and working conditions mean to students in labor? We need to be, what can be learned while students are working for all of us? Challenging questions and difficult answers lay ahead, but together, and only together, will we find reasonable and rational solutions. Work needs to be economically viable, spiritually joyous, and an intellectually satisfying experience. Let's strive to achieve a new goal, learn by working. We need to make both education and work truly affordable for all of us. Let's make the pathways for students to learn to become our next generation's middle class with gainful employment opportunities for long-term careers at Cal Poly, if not the entire CSU. Let's try to make the opportunity cost of work affordable for our existing and future staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Next is our ASI Student Body President, someone who I have enjoyed getting to know this summer and enjoyed watching her grow into her leadership. Cal Poly, please welcome third-year student, political science major, Gracie Babatola.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gracie Babatola. I use she, they pronouns. I am a political science major with a minor in ethics, public policy, science, and technology. I have also had the immense pleasure of serving as ASI President for this school year, so woo! I am the proud grandchild of my Nigerian grandmother, who due to her circumstances never had the chance to attend school or learn to read or write. For everything I do because of her. Over the summer, I got the chance to meet many of you and learn how you help foster community on campus. For that, I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your work in your department, field, or classroom does not go unnoticed by me or by other students. As summer comes to a close and campus begins to liven up again, I'm filled with hope, but fear. Hope that this year will be all that I envisioned, and fear that it will not. I'm sure that this phenomenon is one that many of you are experiencing. It is often times like this I am grateful for the roots that I have planted at Cal Poly. For those are the roots that keep me steady on the path of hope without letting me sink into the pit of anxiety. So for this year, I wish for a year of belonging, one in which we celebrate how far we have come and recognizing where we can improve, where we're able to reconnect with students and admin and rebuild the connections that COVID has made harder to reach. And when times get tough, we're able to lean on those roots that we have planted. I am wishing for a year of Mustangs supporting Mustangs. Thank you.
Thank you, Gracie. Thank you very much, Gracie. Finally, we have the chair of our Academic Senate. Please welcome Tom Gutierrez.
I'm Tom Gutierrez, Professor of Physics and Chair of Cal Poly's Academic Senate. I would like to welcome you back to a new academic year. The Academic Senate is the principal body for facilitating shared governance at Cal Poly. Shared governance is a precious thing that we sometimes take for granted, but it can go away. To preserve it, I urge us to remember our common purpose and values. A toxic attitude in higher education can be embodied in Sayre's Law, which can be paraphrased, politics is so vicious in academia because so little is at stake. In my view, this is self-sabotage. Petty politics can be a part of any human project and implode the most noble of intentions. However, all of us in the academy care deeply about seeking truth, and in that pursuit, the details matter. But truth and kindness aren't mutually exclusive. Let us strive to be charitable and give each other the benefit of the doubt. By practicing charity, assume people are coming from a good place even if we can't always see it. Listen actively to the voices of others and try to understand them. Seek flaws in your own argument to strengthen it and be open to change. Argue against the best version of a position you disagree with, even if it means buttressing opposing views. It isn't about winning, but it's about finding truth through process. I greatly value the productive relationship the Senate has with its university collaborators, including the CFA, our amazing staff, ASI, Student Affairs, the Deans, Academic Affairs, and the President's Office. As you know, we have been engaged in an ongoing, massive, multi-year project of quarter-to-semester transition. The Senate looks forward to continuing to work with Professor Rachel Fern-Flores, Director of Semester Conversion, and her team. I particularly value our partnership with President Armstrong and Provost Jackson-Elmoore and thank them for their commitment to shared governance, including faculty purview over the curriculum and stewardship over the curriculum. The Academic Senate's always looking for interested and passionate faculty to become involved with shared governance, particularly in the important work of our standing committees. I invite all those interested to look at our website to see if there are openings and be aware of calls of service from our office. I encourage faculty and their senators to collaborate and communicate on issues of mutual interest. In starting my last year as Academic Senate Chair, it continues to be a privilege to serve you. I look forward to working with you to address the challenges before us. Let us please take care of ourselves and each other with love, empathy, and respect as we continue this journey together. Looking to the future, I quote Dale Cooper, "I have no idea where this will lead us, but I have a definite feeling it will be a place both wonderful and strange." Thank you, and have a fantastic academic year.
Thank you, Tom. I really like that, finding truth through process. Very wise. It's now my pleasure to introduce Cal Poly's President, Jeffrey Armstrong, who will give the university address. Please welcome President Armstrong.
Thank you, Keith. Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. It's such a pleasure to see you all here. I also offer my congratulations and thanks to our speakers and for Keith serving as the MC. Let's give them another round of applause. I'd like to say a special welcome to all new faculty and staff. As I will say to our new students this Wednesday night, thank you for choosing Cal Poly. And a special congratulations to our award recipients who you will meet later this afternoon. Let's give them a big round of applause. I'd like to acknowledge some public officials and other friends from the community who are here with us today. Please hold your applause until the end. 3rd District San Luis Obispo County Supervisor Dawn Ortiz-Legg, SLO City Mayor Erica Stewart, SLO City Council members Jan Marks, Andy Peace, and Carlin Christensen, who's also serving as an usher for the event. SLO City Manager Derek Johnson, Foundation Board Member Ken Stone and his wife Jean Stone, and we know many, many more are joining us online. Let's give them a big round of applause. Finally, I'd like to thank and introduce my wife, Sharon Armstrong, for her unwavering support. We're both privileged, honored, and blessed to serve Cal Poly. Thank you, Sharon. One of the nicest parts of Convocation is the opportunity to reflect on the achievements of the past academic year. Please bear with me as there are many to go over at the beginning of this presentation. First, for the 30th year in a row, Cal Poly has been named the best public master's university in the West. That's worth a round of applause. We ranked #1 for graduation and retention rates and peer assessment. While we're proud of these rankings, the data also tell us we lag in faculty resources, financial resources, and social mobility. We are committed to improving in these areas. There are other rankings that were associated with this announcement. #1 for veterans. Let me take this opportunity to thank our County Board of Supervisors for a grant that will allow us to enhance our Center for Military-Connected Students. #1 University for Innovation, and #2 University for Undergraduate Teaching. So thank you all for making that happen. Let me add some accomplishments by our students, faculty, and staff. In the College of Science and Mathematics, the Center for Health Research received a $5.6 million grant from the NIH to support promoting cardiovascular health in pregnant women and infants. Another remarkable accomplishment for the college is that undergraduate students are co-authors on more than half of the peer-reviewed publications coming out of the college. This is amazing evidence of learn by doing. In the College of Engineering, the Robert N. Noyce Trust gave a transformative gift that will unite 3 departments in a new Noyce School of Applied Computing. In addition, our concrete canoe team won a record-setting 6th national title, making them the winningest program in the history of the competition. In the Orfalea College of Business, PolyPack was able to hold their first egg drop competition since the pandemic forced a pause. Now, this is student learn by doing at its best, and you need to check it out to make sure the eggs do not break because they're so well packaged. Further, a team of students won the 21-22 Northern California Chartered Financial Analyst Institute Research Challenge. In the College of Liberal Arts, an interdisciplinary research team received NSF funding to study technology, ethics, and we know more grants are in the pipeline for the group. Ethan Gutterman, a third-year history major and an ethics, public policy, science, and technology minor, is the first Cal Poly scholar to serve as a Panetta Institute congressional intern. That's worth a big round of applause. The College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences opened the Justin and J. Lohr Wine and Viticulture Center. Cafes also received $39 million in state funding to make ag infrastructure more sustainable and to rebuild our facility at Swanton Pacific after that terrible fire. We extend our thanks to our supporters, alumni, Governor Newsom, and especially Senator John Laird. In the College of Architecture and Environmental Design, the beloved and much missed Design Village returned to Poly Canyon after a 2-year hiatus caused by the pandemic. This is the kind of signature learned by doing pedagogy that Cal Poly is known for, and it was a joy to see it back in action. This summer, members of the Structural Engineering Students for Humanity traveled to Ecuador to help develop innovative, low-cost, low-tech methods that use bamboo to improve the earthquake resistance of local construction. And then in the midst of COVID, our Cal Poly student athletes won several conference championships: women's soccer, women's golf, beach volleyball, women's tennis, and we had 5 Division I All-Americans. Last year, we had our highest draft pick in Major League Cal Poly baseball history. Brooks Lee was the number 8 pick. Let's give those student athletes a big round of applause. Athletics has also been busy in fundraising as millions of dollars of private giving help fund facility improvements impacting Baggett Stadium and Jansen Field, women's basketball locker room, Mott Athletic Center, Swanson Beach Volleyball Complex, and also the coming Comerford Tennis Pavilion. We're very pleased that Student Affairs opened the Native American and Indigenous Cultural Center last academic year, and this year we will open the Latinx Center and expanded space for the Pride Center. These new cultural centers represent the 6th and 7th new spaces opened in recent years. I believe this demonstrates Cal Poly's commitment to student diversity and belonging. Overall, last year, we raised nearly $90 million to support our students, faculty, staff, and our Learn by Doing mission. And last in this list, but not least, our colleagues in administration and finance and the Cal Poly Corporation, with the help of one-time funding from the CSU, are currently managing an unprecedented transformational capital program with over $400 million of active projects underway today. This includes the Frost Center, which will open early in 2023. Kennedy Library renovation, we expect that fall of 2025. Building 19 renovation, which we believe and we know it's going to open by fall of 23. That's that special food venue. And then $60 million in a variety of infrastructure and deferred maintenance projects. We're also excited, and the students are, and especially Vice President Humphrey in housing, that the significant challenge of stabilizing the Fremont hillside has been addressed. Fremont Hall has been renovated, and it's exciting to see students moving back into Fremont for the first time this fall since it was closed in 2017. That's a remarkable achievement. The Cal Poly Corporation has also invested over $2 million in improvements to outdoor dining facilities at the campus market, Union Plaza, and as you will notice during the reception, the Pack Plaza area. This is all geared to enhance the student experience, but also the employees who mingle in with our students. There are many, many more stories where these came from. Let's just pause and give them all a big round of applause. As you could tell, the theme of this fall's convocation is growth. At a university, growth can mean many things: a deepening in appreciation, an increase in skill or ability, an increase in size or capacity, a return to a previous state, growing back. It implies building on what we have today to become more and better tomorrow. One area where the university has been growing and continues to grow is in the number of applicants, the quality of our enrolled students, and the diversity of our student body. It's easy sometimes to see only trees and not the forest, so here are some big picture landmarks to help orient us all. So for fall of 2022, we had over 68,000 undergraduate applications, a new record high and up 3.5% from the previous year. I report these record-setting numbers so often that it's worth remembering that our current applications are more than double what they were in 2005 and more than quadruple what they were in 1993. Even in 2011, when Sharon and I arrived, there were only a little over 32,000 first-year applicants, more than a 50% fewer than today. Keep in mind that many campuses are experiencing failing or stagnating application rates, and consequently, enrollment drops and, yes, budget cuts. Cal Poly is blessed with strong and growing demand, and that is because of you. Give yourselves a hand. And those high numbers of applicants have meant that we have been able to recruit stronger and stronger incoming classes. The average GPA of first-year students who were offered admission for this fall is 4.13, up from 3.72 in 2005. The 75th percentile was 4.25, the maximum weighted GPA possible. That's the highest in our history. Our student body has gotten significantly more diverse, but there is a lot of room for growth and more work to do. But let's celebrate some of our achievements. The entering class is our most diverse yet, with, and I want to repeat, preliminary numbers, our highest percentage of women, highest ever percentage of students from partner high schools, highest percentage of first-generation students, and highest ever percentage of both Asian and Hispanic Latino students. So Cal Poly is growing more diverse. We're better reflecting California, and we will become an HSI over the next few years. But we have more work to do. I know that many of you are interested to know how Cal Poly will be managing COVID-19 this year. In that arena, we're seeking to grow and maintain good habits. Based on the advice and guidance of our experts and public health authorities, we've arrived at the following policies for the fall quarter. Cal Poly and the CSU as a whole will continue to require that all campus members vaccinate and boost. During the fall quarter, we do not plan to test asymptomatic individuals. Along with the San Luis Obispo Department of Public Health, we continue to encourage but not require masking when indoors. Masking indoors needs to be normal and accepted by all. Campus Health and Wellbeing will continue to test symptomatic students. Symptomatic employees should seek testing in the community or through one of the home antigen tests. Students who unfortunately develop COVID-19 will be asked to isolate in place, either on or off campus, and students may also return to their private residence if they wish and it is possible and practical. As always, as you've heard me say many times before, if public health conditions change, regular testing and other changes may again become necessary. As you've heard earlier, over the summer, collective bargaining agreements were resulted in 7% pay increases for most employees. That's a good start, but it's just a start. Let me repeat, it is just a start. We will continue to press for more. Just in case that sounds like mere talk, it's worth knowing that the state budget did not fully fund even the general salary increases that were reached. And Cal Poly is paying a significant portion of those increases. It's the right thing to do. We're happy to do it, but it adds to our deficit. So we are willing to back up the words with real money. So overall, all forms of money from the CSU and Cal Poly, $30 million went to salaries and benefits in the form of the general salary adjustments and bonuses. $12 million of that 30 came from our Cal Poly budget. This highlights another aspect of growth, that we're all growing together. It's easy in our day-to-day mindset to see only our individual pieces of the puzzle. Cal Poly succeeds because every employee, every staff member, every faculty member does their job and does it well. We cannot sustain, let alone grow, student success without faculty and staff success. We cannot have student success without faculty and staff success. Budget realities long ago pared away many positions, leaving thin margins for the work that we do. Every employee does something essential at Cal Poly, and every employee deserves fair and competitive compensation for their excellent work. I know you would agree that deserves an applause. We are working hard to grow base funding for employee equity, IRP adjustments in 23-24 and beyond, as funded by the CBF, college-based fee for faculty, and provided by other sources for our staff. This is absolutely essential for our future. During the past year, Cal Poly has grown in another way. We've improved our capability. Some of that comes from the decision to raise the college-based fee implemented for this incoming class. Some of the impacts of this major decision will take a few years for us to see. However, the impacts on student financial aid are already apparent. This year, for the first time, we were able to offer significant financial aid to all Pell-eligible students who gained admission, California students, as well as all the successful applicants from Cal Poly partner high schools within California with an expected family contribution up to $12,000. So we know from preliminary data that for the first time in decades, our students with $0 EFC, that our net cost of attendance is the same or maybe even a little lower than the UCs. That is a major accomplishment. Thank you. That is a huge accomplishment. It's a change that will grow over the next several years and is already positively affecting our ability to recruit students, significantly increase yield from lower income backgrounds. This class, again, preliminary numbers, is once again increasing our percentage of Pell-eligible students. Our Pell-eligible California resident first-time freshmen increased to 22%, up 1 percentage point, and that represents 160 students. So that's 160 additional students. In addition to the growth in the CBF, these changes are also fueled by the Cal Poly Opportunity Fee and Cal Poly Scholars. This fall, this week, some this past weekend, we will welcome over 950 new Cal Poly Scholars, bringing the total to over 2,000. And we started in 2012 with 13 students. So collectively, we've added $5 million in financial aid this fall over the past academic year. That's making a difference in the lives of multiple students. One other improvement that I'd like to mention, it's a bit in the weeds, but it's very important. We're expanding our Mustang shuttle from operating mostly at night to also offering a regular daytime loop of campus. It's going to include our agricultural and other locations critical to learn by doing. We're partnering with University Housing, ASI, the Cal Poly Corporation, and the UU Advisory Board to fund this service. The final way that Cal Poly will grow this year, and has been growing over many years, is toward the future. We're growing to become the Cal Poly that we must become. Some of these steps are incremental or even repeated, such as the successful reaffirmation of our accreditation by WASC for the maximum available terms of 10 years. And you're ahead of my script. I believe that deserves another round of applause for all the hard work that went into this process. Some steps require bigger changes, such as the conversion to semesters that you know we're working on. During the fall 2014 convocation, I outlined a set of goals and guiding principles for the university that we called Vision 2022. Here we are. It's 2022, and Vision 2022 is still a document. I continue to reference it. We reference it frequently as it sets our North Star and helps ensure that we remain on course as an institution. Other than referencing a $500 million comprehensive campaign, something that I'm happy to remind you that we exceeded with a record-breaking $832 million, Vision 2022's components are evergreen, and they remain as relevant today as they were in 2014. They're going to continue to be relevant well into our future. Given this fact, we will be making some very minor adjustments to the document, but its substance will be unchanged, and the document will remain largely intact. Moving forward, we will simply refer to the document as the Cal Poly Vision Statement. The Cal Poly Vision Statement will continue to be our guiding light that shapes our university divisional and other strategic plans. I'd like to read one of the key principles in this document and spend some time discussing it. Recruitment and retention of faculty and staff will be driven by professional development opportunities and competitive salaries benefits. A university is only as good as the quality of its employees. As I've stated earlier and stated since I arrived, one of the most critical factors in the ongoing and future success of Cal Poly is the competitive compensation of our faculty and staff. This is not just idle talk, but an essential priority. As I mentioned earlier, the recent adjustments are very much a start. This past year, we put in place a solid plan to help increase equity pay for faculty as one of the many improvements that will result from the college-based fee. While we're proud of that program and the compensation improvements it will provide, we must continue to build on it and find new ways to fund the increase of compensation for both faculty and staff. Realizing our goal is stated in the Cal Poly Vision Statement and meaningfully transforming compensation for our employees requires us to think differently, to develop new sources of funding and consider new options as operating as a university. A couple of ideas that we have discussed in the past and need to talk about more seriously are the possibilities of enrollment growth and year-round operations at Cal Poly. In fact, we go back to the fall of 2019 convocation, I challenged our campus to implement year-round. Well, we all know what happened that academic year, a little bit before spring break at the end of the winter quarter, a global pandemic, which postponed and derailed many, many plans and discussions. So now it's time to discuss again how we might move forward. This is essential if we are to become the university that we are meant to be as outlined in our vision. I want to be very clear today that I am not announcing that we're moving forward with enrollment growth or year-round operations at this time. No decisions about these ideas have been made, but there are topics we must explore further within the context of shared governance and as a campus community if we're to reach our goals as laid out in the Cal Poly vision statement. We know that improving compensation, along with the many other critical elements of our vision statement, requires funding well beyond what we can reasonably expect from our traditional sources, such as the state, fees, CSU, and donors. It is the kind of funding that few things other than enrollment growth can provide. Of utmost importance, we're also operating at a time when the state and the CSU need more Cal Poly graduates. Governor Newsom and the CSU have reached a compact calling for system-wide enrollment growth every year for the next 5 years, 18,000 additional residential FTES. At the same time, we know that the demand for admission to Cal Poly and for our graduates is at an all-time high. 96% of our graduates are doing what they want to be doing 6 to 9 months after graduation. We also live here in the Central Coast. Amongst our statewide responsibilities, we're here on the Central Coast. And the Central Coast plans to add 15,000 new jobs by 2030 through the work of REACH and many, many other organizations. So our role in the region is increasingly important, as is that of our graduates, and that allows us to insist that the benefits of economic growth be shared widely and equitably, and to reiterate our commitment to seeing both Cal Poly and the Central Coast region become more representative of our state population. Of course, we have to be clear about the barriers to growth that exist. There are many that need to be discussed. One such example we're all familiar with, space constraints. A survey of all 23 CSU universities revealed that Cal Poly has the highest rate of utilization of space of any university in the system. That scarcity of space, including instructional space and housing for students and employees, severely limits our ability to grow during the academic year. So I believe that becoming a year-round campus could provide a pathway to growth, but again, much more dialogue and exploration of the options as a campus community needs to be done. Let me reiterate that long-term success will also require Cal Poly, the CSU, the state, and donor investments in facilities. I also want to be very clear and speak directly to our surrounding community leaders and citizens. We will consult with you. We will work together and communicate before any plans are determined or implemented. We will also double down on our efforts to enhance our programs and revenue through partnerships, through philanthropy, through partnerships with Cuesta and Allen Hancock Community Colleges, and with local government on the Central Coast. More to come on this, but the exciting news is that there are real possibilities available to Cal Poly, the impact of which could dramatically accelerate our ability to deliver on the key priorities of our mission, of our vision. We will be engaging campus leadership and campus community through shared governance, as well as our local community more broadly in those conversations in the coming weeks and months. So let me end where I started, and not just to those who are new, but to all of you. Thank you for choosing Cal Poly. Thanks for all that you do for Cal Poly. You mean so much to our students. And I wish you all a very amazing and productive academic year. Thank you.
Thank you, President Armstrong. I think everyone is excited about the vision and future of this university. It's now time to recognize our faculty and staff award winners. I'm pleased to introduce Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Cynthia Jackson-Elmoore, and we can applaud for our Provost. She's pretty cool. And President Jeffrey Armstrong, who will congratulate each of the awardees. I'd ask them to move into position, but before we begin, the Provost has some opening remarks.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I am so excited to be able to join you to officially start our academic year. Today, I have the honor of presenting 11 of our outstanding and exemplary members of campus community for the 2021-2022 academic year awards. These individuals have all been nominated by their peers, colleagues, and in the case of the Distinguished Teaching Award and the Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award, their students. Thank you to everyone who took the time to nominate someone for an award. I am thrilled to be here to recognize them today. First, I would like to introduce the Distinguished Scholarship Award. Our 3 awardees will receive an award that reads, "In recognition of your research contributions to knowledge and student experience, mentoring, and commitment to learn by doing." I would like to invite Dr. Anurag Pandey to the stage. Dr. Anurag Pandey, professor in the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department, specializes in transportation engineering, came to teach in the College of Engineering in 2008, and has loved his job ever since. He has been honored with a host of awards, from his 2005 dissertation to national recognition to Cal Poly honors, including this year's Distinguished Scholarship Award. Dr. Pandey's accomplishments represent Cal Poly's teacher-scholar model of faculty whose research, scholarly, and creative activities benefit students through the opportunity for scholarly engagement, through strong mentorship, and the chance to explore their own creativity. He has secured over 30 externally funded grants worth more than $2.5 million from local, state, and federal agencies. The majority of that funding has supported student engagement in scholarly endeavors that resulted in 18 publications co-authored with students. He is the faculty advisor to the student chapter of the Institute of Transportation Engineers, honored with the Best Student Chapter Award 4 times since 2014. Congratulations, Dr. Pandey. I would now like to invite Dr. Allison Ventura to the stage. Dr. Allison Ventura is an associate professor of kinesiology and public health and director of the Healthy Kids Lab at Cal Poly, and has been on campus since 2014. As an educator, she works to foster within students the creativity, confidence, and ambition to venture beyond what is known, to develop new interpretations of and discoveries of their worlds. She involves students in research, scholarly, and creative activities focused on supporting caregivers to children from conception to their second birthday, the first 1,000 days. Combining her expertise in human development, family studies, early childhood nutrition, and public health, she designs scholarly projects to shed light on how early childhood feeding experiences and growth trajectories affect eating behaviors and weight status over time. The Distinguished Scholarship Award Committee lauded those studies and her efforts to secure over $4 million in funding from the National Institutes of Health. This prolific researcher and scholar has 43 publications at Cal Poly, the majority including university students, and has given numerous presentations at national and international conferences. Congratulations, Dr. Ventura. Our third and final Distinguished Scholarship Awardee, Dr. Nishanta Nishi Rajakaruna, is unable to join us today, but he is joining us virtually. Dr. Nishanta Nishi Rajakaruna, and I thank you in advance for giving me grace with the names, a professor of plant biology since 2017, developed his passion for plants as a child growing up in Sri Lanka during a visit to the Sinharaja Forest Reserve, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and biodiversity hotspot. This school year, the two-time Fulbright Scholar returns to South Africa to carry out studies on plants, lichens, and microbes found on serpentine soils and teach a new course on geoecology. Dr. Rajakaruna research examines how chemically harsh geology shaped the diversity, ecology, and evolution of plants, microbes, and lichens. In the process, he established a student-centered research, scholarly, and creative activities program in the interdisciplinary study of geology and ecology. Dr. Rajakaruna's work has involved scores of students and resulted in 24 peer-reviewed journal publications over the last 5 years, including 5 with 8 student co-authors and 2 book chapters that included 5 undergrads' inputs, and more than half of his 43 conference presentations include students. Congratulations to Dr. Rajakaruna.
Thank you very much. I miss you all.
And congratulations and thank you to all of our Distinguished Scholarship awardees. Let's give them another round of applause. We will now recognize the Distinguished Teaching Award recipients who will receive awards that read, in recognition of your excellence in teaching, contributions to student engagement and achievement, innovative instruction, and commitment to student success. Our first recipient is Dr. Nishi Rajakaruna. A passionate lecturer, advocate for students, and thoughtful and caring mentor, Dr. Rajakaruna has positively impacted the lives of many students through his classes and as a club advisor, faculty and residents, and through a host of activities such as tea nights in a hiking club called Plants, Peaks, and Pals. Dr. Rajakaruna paints a picture of every topic he teaches, and by doing so, makes his lectures a vivid learning experience, wrote one student. In addition to his ability to help students clearly understand complex biological concepts, he also goes out of his way to connect with and advocate for students. He spends much of his time outside of the classroom working to provide useful resources, career information, internships and scholarship opportunities, and even social gatherings for community building for students, a student wrote. Even during the pandemic, Dr. Raja Karuna created virtual gatherings to allow for continued community building and a sense of belonging for students through hosting virtual tea nights with the Tea Club, movie nights through Zoom, and fun and informative classes about food and nutrition. Another noted, he always created spaces for students where they can expand their wings. Congratulations again, Dr. Raja Karuna.
Thank you.
Our next Distinguished Teaching Awardee, Dr. Philip Costanzo, is also joining us virtually today. Dr. Philip Costanzo, professor in the Chemistry and Biochemistry Department, goes above and beyond to connect with students and foster their academic success, as well as their success as future scientists. His dedication and care towards his students prompts many to pursue educational and professional opportunities they didn't think were possible, and left lasting impressions that continued long after graduation. His teaching style, which emphasizes critical thinking and fundamental knowledge over memorization, leaves a long-lasting impact on the way his students tackle real-world challenges. Beyond lectures brimming with useful material, Dr. Costanzo also develops excellent undergraduate research projects, has chaperoned students to the American Chemical Society conferences multiple times, and served as faculty advisor to the campus chemistry organization, Alpha Chi Sigma. This support extends far beyond the time frame he is directly teaching you. For myself and many others, he has continued to check in and provide us with honest advice and encouragement, while also making sure we are the best professionals we can be, whether that be in industry or academia. An alumni wrote of Dr. Costanzo. Congratulations.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Now I would like to invite Dr. Anahid Barouzi to the stage. Dr. Anahid Barouzi, Associate Professor of Architectural Engineering, wants every student to succeed in their studies, follow their passion, and grow as future engineers. From her uniquely prepared lecture note sheets to office hours to accommodate students' schedules, she doesn't just give her students her best effort, she gives them everything they need to be successful, an alumni nominator wrote. Dr. Barouzi strives to integrate diversity, equity, and inclusion into her courses and engages students in these efforts, such as mentoring them in projects to create content showcasing the contributions of underrepresented engineers. She also recruits, advises, and travels with a student design team to an annual international seismic design competition, actively participates in the student chapter of Structural Engineers Association of California, and encourages students to get involved with activities across campus. Congratulations, Dr. Barouzi. Congratulations again to all of our distinguished teaching awardees. Let's give them one more round of applause. And now we will honor 3 of our staff members who will be recognized with outstanding staff awards that read, in recognition of your outstanding dedication, expertise, contributions, and teamwork. I'm also happy to share that all 3 of our outstanding staff awardees are Cal Poly alumni. I would like to invite Aaron Lazanoff to the stage. Aaron Lazanoff, Beef Operations Manager in the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences, is praised as indispensable, capable, positive, and approachable. He effectively manages multiple projects and the complex responsibilities of cattle operations at Churro Ranch, Escuela Ranch, Serrano Ranch, and Poly Canyon Ranch, as well as the cow-calf herd, stocker cattle, and livestock operations at Swanton Pacific Ranch. He assists faculty instructing beef courses and personally instructs several beef-centered enterprises. A colleague said that Aaron Lazanoff's welcoming personality draws students from all backgrounds. Another said, he embraces the challenge to educate and mentor all students in his program. A well-respected member of the livestock grazing community, known for his cheerful and willing attitude, he is credited with maintaining pristine rangelands that are considered a showcase for others to emulate. In addition, Lazanoff has made significant contributions to streamlining Cal Poly's bull test and sale, an annual event impacting hundreds of students and alumni. Always willing to help, he is sought after for advice and hands-on assistance and is known as the go-to guy for anything that needs fixing. Congratulations, Aaron. I would like to invite Cynthia Lambert to the stage. Cynthia Lambert, Communications Specialist in University Communications and Marketing, is valued as a phenomenal leader and tremendous asset, as well as a tireless, cheerful team member who is a joy to work with. In addition to her role in UCM, Lambert serves as the Emergency Operations Public Information Officer, no small feat, leading communications and ensuring the right messaging is passed to faculty, staff, and students with regard to COVID-19 testing and protocols. An EOC colleague said, she is one of the most dedicated individuals I have ever met. She has proven to be a phenomenal leader with superb relationship building skills. She brings a high degree of dedication and passion to her job. Another said, her enthusiasm and willingness to assist the campus community has served as a role model for the entire EOC team. We have seen her lift other team members' spirits and bring them together to accomplish our objectives. As editor of Cal Poly Report, Lambert never misses a beat gathering submissions and proactively searching for pertinent content. Her vast knowledge of the university and ties to so many within it keep this publication among the most read in the campus community. Lambert has cultivated a sterling reputation for excellence and professionalism, wrote a nominator. Congratulations, Cynthia. I would like to invite Scott Tucker to the stage. Scott Tucker, Technology Architecture and Information Technology Services, brings strong analytical and problem-solving skills to provide critical technical leadership that goes beyond expectations. He has served in various roles throughout the pandemic, including as the Emergency Operations Technical Lead. His initiative, work ethic, and expertise have been critical to Cal Poly's COVID-19 response. With an idea and general direction from campus leadership, he built a new system for saliva testing while expanding the use of existing technology to serve a new purpose. He has tackled every project assigned to him with enthusiasm and competence, said a colleague. He invariably understands exactly what a project is all about from the outset and gets it done quickly and effectively. Tucker enthusiastically assists whenever an issue arises. He spent many long hours collaborating with staff to ensure that the proposed solutions for tracking the campus's COVID-19 mitigation measures would launch successfully. One nominator said that Chuck Tucker joined ITS as part of the IT centralization and immediately became an integral member. He quickly adopted the team's work management practices, and his collegiality and collaborative spirit have made his new team even stronger. Congratulations, Scott. Congratulations and thank you again to all three of our outstanding staff awardees. We will now announce the Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award, which reads, in recognition of your contributions to student success through academic advising, mentoring, and career guidance to help build real-world skills. Once again, I would like to invite Dr. Anahid Barouzi to the stage. Dr. Barouzi has a motto, engineer with heart. In her 6 years at Cal Poly, she has received national recognition from professional societies, as well as numerous teaching and service honors, including this year's Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award. Her graduate students called her an inspiration, saying, Dr. Barouzi goes above and beyond. Challenged me to be like her, proactive and swift to seize learning opportunities, and had a significant impact on my life. She empowers students to lead the evolution of engineering curriculum by mentoring them in projects to create physical and digital demonstration tools, hands-on experiments, and content highlights the contributions of diverse engineers. As a result, numerous students have co-authored engineering conference papers that later integrates into courses, inspiring other undergraduate and graduate students. As an educator, she works to nurture future engineers who can balance the technical rigor of structural design challenges with empathy for stakeholders who will live, work, and visit these built spaces. Congratulations again, Dr. Barouzi. We will now honor the recipient of the Provost Leadership Award for Partnership in Philanthropy, which recognizes a visionary leader who forged critical partnerships to advance the mission of Cal Poly. I would like to invite Dr. Al Estes to the stage. In his role as Architectural Engineering Department Head for the last 15 years, Dr. Al Estes has stewarded an outstanding advancement and fundraising program that has resulted in facilities improvements, support of faculty initiatives, and a huge enhancement of the student experience at Cal Poly. Dr. Estes continued to maintain the excellence of these efforts throughout the pandemic, One nominator wrote, "While others shut down, he saw this as an opportunity to contact donors, stay in touch, solicit gifts, and store donors in new ways." His numerous initiatives included 5-year sponsorships for 8 labs within his department, generating nearly $1 million in gifts that helped maintain facilities, completing the second iteration of the Parents Learn by Doing Fund, which has raised $100,000 from parents and supporters of the ARC program, and forming the ARC Industrial Advisory Board, which last year sponsored the ARC Student in Need and raised $18,000. Student in Need Fund. These and many other accomplishments have resulted in the Department Advancement Program that is unrivaled, a nominator wrote. Congratulations, Dr. Estes. Now we will congratulate and recognize the recipients of the Learn by Doing Scholar Awards, which recognize faculty contributions to Cal Poly's signature pedagogy of Learn by Doing. I would like to invite Dr. Pauline Ford to the stage. Pauline Ford, Assistant Professor of Aerospace Engineering, is engaging a multidisciplinary group of 49 students in a PowerSat project as part of the NASA CubeSat launch initiative, which aims to launch by 2025. PowerSat is a small, unique spacecraft platform that could open new avenues for the practical implementation of space-based solar power. The students are developing a product from design to operations and disposal for actual customers. Students prepare a quarterly engineering report that provides the status on various areas of the spacecraft. So far, students have shared their experience in 3 published conference papers. They have conveyed technical information to various audiences for a variety of purposes, defined methodology and assumptions, interpreted results, identified and addressed gaps, performed research, and provided content to support knowledge transfer and reproduction of results. I'm exhausted just listing what they've done. Students learn to work in a multidisciplinary team, take ownership of their task and the quality of their work, as well as communicate with a diverse group of people, handling conflicting situations, and learning to appreciate multiple perspectives on tackling problems. Congratulations, Dr. Ford. And now I would like to invite Randy Barrows to the stage. Randy Barrows, lecturer in the Disciplinary Studies and Liberal Arts Department, introduces her students to thoughtful storytelling, memorable characters, and professional filmmaking techniques and practices. Students in her storytelling and cinematic process class create real-world films that are screened at the San Luis Obispo International Film Festival. Be sure to check them out if you haven't yet. They learn to uncover and translate their own unique tales into screenplays through writing assignments designed to elicit personal stories of conflict and connection, which serve as launching pads for fictional stories. Students select screenplays, form production teams, attend a hands-on workshop with a professional cinematographer and sound recordist to learn about the equipment and its possibilities. Then they develop a pre-production package with storyboards, a shooting script, and production schedules. At a professional casting session, students audition and cast actors. Then they collaborate to produce, direct, and edit their films. Student design posters promoting the film festival screening, develop web promotion, create press packages, and participate in television, radio, and newspaper interviews. These students create powerful, entertaining short movies that audiences can connect to and be inspired by, while developing skills that help them grow personally and professionally. You can't tell me they're not ready day one. Congratulations, Randy. Congratulations again to our 2 Learn by Doing awardees. This concludes the awards portion of our ceremony today. We are fortunate to have so many talented individuals with us at Cal Poly. Congratulations again to all of our awardees, and thank you to the award committee members for their work. Thank you to everyone. I would now like to welcome back our MC, Vice President Humphrey, to the stage to conclude today's ceremony.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson-Elmoore. Let's give all of our faculty and staff awardees one more big round of applause. And keep that applause going for all of the team that made today's event happen, folks working behind the scenes. This concludes our general session of convocation. Thank you for being with us today. Please enjoy the reception that's